I'm Sky. I wanted to talk about this for a while now, but never got around to doing it because I'm incredibly lazy. I'm making a script for this video, surprising, right? So I'm trying to remedy that by being a productive human being. I'm here to discuss the matter that is infusion and masterwork cores and why infusion materials should be reduced and masterwork cores shouldn't be an infusion requirement. Masterwork weapons and cores were introduced in Destiny 2 to give your favorite weapon and armor some personality, so to speak. I thought it was a really good idea. I have a few weapons that I actually want to use, and to make them even better, well, sign me up. Fast forward, the Forsaken trailer released, and we saw everything new that was coming to Destiny 2, including random rolls on weapons. This news had me on the floor in tears as I thought of having a weapon with a role that only very few had, and to masterwork my weapon with the stat I wanted was just icing on the cake. Masterworking a weapon / armor in Destiny 2 Forsaken would be like marrying that one-of-a-kind girl or man. Little did I know, that person I would be marrying was a spoiled child. So Forsaken released. I cleared my vault and got ready for the new loot. I loved the weapons and armor I already had since I saved up over 200 masterwork cores. I was ready to keep infusing, and I was ready to get god-rolled items to masterwork. Make them my own and cherish them. When I reached power level 500, I infused all of my blue 500 power level gear into my legendary gear that I love so much and that I masterworked. I was not paying attention, and I constantly infused every new piece of gear into my weapons and armor until my stockpile of masterwork cores ran dry. And then I actually took a look at the infusion cost. Well, it seems like my weapon or armor didn't want to commit until I had the bank account numbers akin to Microsoft. Frustration set in when I was struggling to get one masterwork core a day, and I had to give up all of my favorite weapons and armor that I masterworked and committed to because they weren't high enough power, and I did not have enough masterwork cores to make them relevant. Time passes, and we're here now. I'm struggling to do activities because of the weapons and gear. Not to mention, my guardian looks like a child trying to dress up like Superman. Okay, so you wasted all of your masterwork cores because you were careless. That's not Bungie's fault, I hear you say. And I'm not blaming anyone but myself for my mistake. I was simply setting the scene for what I'm about to say. I'm not the best at Destiny 2. I'm far from it. But I get by just playing solo most of the time. I do not play a lot of high-level activities like the Nightfall or the Raid. I'm not big on clearing my schedule to grind those activities on all 3 characters. But years ago in Destiny 1, I had the time. I was leading raids, teaching people how to do them every morning on Tuesday. And at the same time, every morning on Tuesday, I would get up and do the raid on hard mode on all 3 characters. But now, I do not have that luxury. Time is unfortunately a commodity that not everyone has an infinite source of. And if you do, then congrats. People like us don't have the time to constantly grind for 1 to 3 masterwork cores a day just for one infusion. Yes, you can buy masterwork cores from the spider, but the cost will constantly go up until it is impossible to keep up. The price resets every day, but by then, I'd run dry of legendary shards. And if I do grind that day for more shards, then the price of the masterwork cores will be to such a staggering amount that I'd run dry very quickly, no matter how many shards I have. And by the time I get burnt out of grinding for legendary shards, and I have enough masterwork cores for 3 infusions, I'm already out of fuel to play anymore. Referring back to what I said before, I'm not the best at Destiny in general. But there's a certain few weapons that I use that I know I'm good at, and I do extremely well with. Taking all that info that I said into account, imagine my frustrations when I get a sidearm and a shotgun that has a power level much higher than any of my other weapons. I use them and struggle with them. 2 short-range weapons and an edge transit to boot. No, you do not have to use your highest level gear to get items to get powerful gear to drop higher than your maximum power level like Destiny 1. But that's not the point. I want to be my highest when I play in strikes, do heroic adventures, escalation protocol, blind well, and other activities. Imagine going in a raid with a sidearm and a shotgun, but changing to your Whisper of the Worm, a shotgun, and a hand cannon, but sacrificing almost 20 power levels because those are weapons required for a raid. Imagine going into the Iron Banner with garbage weapons that you know you're not good with, but they're the highest weapons that you have, to only get stomped on because you're just not good with those weapons. And before you get pub stomped by a full stack 6-team clan. Bungie, you implemented Masterwork cores to make a commitment to a certain weapon or gear. How can I make that commitment when I infuse a high power weapon with my favorite weapon, but I keep running dry on Masterwork cores? Therefore, I can't keep up with my increasing power level, and so I have to put my baby in storage until I get enough cores to infuse it again. I'm stuck using weapons and armor with bad rolls, and that give me a disadvantage more than anything. Do you really want to force your player base to use weapons they're not comfortable with and causes them to die a lot and lose constantly in Crucible because they're weighing down their team? Masterwork cores should just be an item you need to masterwork your weapon, not infuse them. If a girl asks me to keep coughing up money for her, I'm just leaving. Simple as that. In the making of this script, Bungie has already addressed this, and they will be making a change to the infusion system, and I couldn't be happier. And I have to plead to you, Bungie, don't listen to the people that sugarcoat this, because they're most likely the people that have the time to play Destiny 2 24/7 and they have infinite materials. If they can grind Destiny 2 24/7, nothing needs to change for them, and that's why they say the system is fine. Why should Bungie listen to you? Don't play the game if you can't handle the grind, I hear you say. It's not that I can't handle the grind, it's just that I don't have the time. There are a couple of arguments that I know people will make, so let's knock them down right now. If you're bad at using weapons, that's your fault. Stop playing Destiny if you're not good at it. I said I'm not the best at Destiny. I didn't say I was bad. If I have the right weapons and armor, then yes, I can do exceptionally well. But since I can't infuse the gear that I love and do great with them, then I have no choice but to do bad. Just get better at using those bad weapons. Thinking emoji. And my rebuttal is, if someone is getting murdered, can you just tell them to stop dying? Dude, there's an item in the game that makes bosses drop Masterwork cores. Use those and stop complaining. I did use them, and I am already out of that item. You might be very lucky and get that item every single time you dismantle absolutely anything, but I'm unfortunately not that lucky. Now, any arguments about the quote, grind? I only have this to say. I don't want the grind to be easier. What will make the grind easier is if I can use weapons and armor I'm comfortable with. Now, is that such a crime? Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye now.